Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. The jurors at the Sean Diddy trial are now deliberating. I repeat, the jurors at the Sean Diddy's trial is now in deliberations. Reporting live, I'm Krista Don 1, Messy Media News. Okay. What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Krista Don 1, the official place where you can get all what you need in these YouTube streets. Rate, comment, subscribe, share this video as well as this YouTube channel with your friends, family, and followers. If you want to support the channel even further, super chat, super stickers, they are important, but they're not needed. You can still enjoy this entertainment by just listening to your boy. And you can also hit the join membership button. Remember, membership has its purposes, okay? It's optional, by the way. It's your boy, I'm Krista Don 1. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah. So, day one of deliberations. Now, Sean Diddy Combs, for those who've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. Sean Diddy Combs, he caught himself in a sticky situation, pause, okay, with X trafficking. They're trying to get the RICO on your boy with X trafficking and a slew of other charges. Now, before I begin today's live stream and to keep you guys up to date what's going on with Sean Diddy Combs, I first like to say this for the record. I do not believe Sean Diddy Combs is an innocent man. Let me repeat that one more again for the nation. I'm Krista Don 1, do not believe Sean Diddy Combs is a free man. I don't. I think Sean Diddy Combs, if you want to say that Sean Diddy Combs assault women, I'm 1,000% with you on that. If you want to say Sean Diddy Combs utilize illegal drugs, you won't get an argument with me there. Okay? If you want to say Sean Diddy Combs treat certain people in the industry wrong, you won't get no argument with me with that either. But I've been telling y'all since day one, I do believe Sean Diddy Combs is guilty, but with what's going on with the court and what they're providing, I don't think Sean Diddy Combs, well, let me rephrase that. I believe Sean Diddy Combs is not totally innocent, but not totally guilty of these charges with the X trafficking. Okay. Even though there were a slew of women and there was a slew of ex-employees that said, yeah, that man right there, he did this, where he paid for some, for some women to do some services. But when they was telling their tales, when they was telling their stories, none of these women say that they didn't want to do it. They willfully did it. Now, I understand the definition of X trafficking when you asking for some services and you're willing to pay for those services. I'm trying to get YouTube content friendly here. Y'all gonna have to read between the lines. I do believe it did happen. And I understand that the definition of X trafficking, he did realistically did those things. But y'all got to realize, where's the victims? Particularly in this case, Diddy's not a victim. Cassie's not a victim. And these women were not victims. Now, I do believe Cassie is a victim of, assault from Diddy. But as far as, you doing these freak offs, you willfully did them. I mean, you willfully uh, pretty much did these crimes because you believe that there was going to be an end game of you doing these crimes. You believe, Cassidy, that if you would have take part of these freak offs, Diddy was going to take care of you later on down the road. Maybe wife you up, maybe marry you. And then you were thinking, well, if I get married and we get a divorce, not only I get the name, not only I get his name, I get the money. So you willingly did these things. And you willingly did these things to satisfy Diddy. Now, understand it did not happen the way you wanted it to happen, but nevertheless, Cassidy, if you want to say Cassidy was assaulted, then yes, I believe Cassidy was assaulted by Diddy, and he should be charged for that. She's a victim on that. But as far as this ex-trafficking go, I just don't believe when two adults willfully do something that should be the male adult or the person that's going to trial should take the blunt of the punishment. And I understand why she's not taking no punishment in it, because she worked a deal out with the prosecution, and as well as his ex-workers and the other escorts and things of that nature, so they can pretty much testify against Diddy. But still, that's a crime. If this is a major crime, then why are you allowing these people to just walk off scot-free? And they're going to do a book deal later on down the road, or do a movie or whatever. They're going to profit from it anyway. Okay, like everyone else is profiting from it. Okay, but if you want to say Diddy is, if Diddy is guilty on anything, I think the illegal drugs. He used drugs. He assaulted Cassidy. I believe in that. As far as arson goes, and they dropped the arson charges. Now, it really depends on who you believe. When you talk about these lawyers on TikTok or on social media, they say, yeah, they dropped the arson. They technically dropped the arson charges, but they're using the act. Okay, whatever, tomato. I don't think, as far as the arson charges go, even though there was an intent of arson, I don't think it's hard for me to say this, but I do not believe Diddy was in the right frame of mind when he took when he ordered someone to take the Molotov cocktail and burn the guy's car. I mean, car seat, not the car seat. And I think there's levels to arson. Look, it's not like Diddy burned down a rainforest, or Diddy burned down a city or anything like that. I don't want to make this sound like it's minute, but if you're saying that this is arson, then you have to demonstrate to me how the arson and the ex-trafficking is connected. And you already said that Diddy is an abuser of illegal substances, the defense can easily claim that, hey, he wasn't in the right frame of mind. And even Kid Cudi even said that Cassie was using him as well to tick off, to piss off Diddy and whatever. Okay, but to me, the kidnapping, And kidnapping. Well, I didn't even talk about that. I talked about the ex-trafficking, talked about the arson. The kidnapping, I think that's a reach. I just think that the prosecution just put that in there. Now is it like moving someone from state to state? Yes. I understand where you coming from. That is the definition of kidnapping. But to me, if both parties are willing to do this, then I don't understand how you can make that jive and say that's kidnapping. But again, they dropped the charges. Now, I listened to an attorney talk about this case, and they said they don't need to find him guilty on all three charges. They can find him guilty if he gets charged with two of the charges, he's gone finito. He's gone for life. He's not getting out of there. And I said, and then they said out of the three charges, the ex-trafficking, I think the jurors are going to probably say that he's guilty of that. Because there's not a lot, because when you look at the arson, it's not a lot there. There's not a lot of meat on the bone to pursue an arson charge. And when you talk about kidnapping, one could assume that, kidnapping, I understand the technical definition of kidnapping, but if both parties are willing adults and they were not, and they wanted to do it, it's going to be hard to demonstrate without a shadow of a doubt he's guilty of that. But the ex-trafficking, they got him dead to right on that. Okay, when you transporting escorts, male escorts, female escorts from state to state, I mean, that's clear cut. Now, attorney also said on TikTok, it's not just one charge of it. And they said one charge can carry 10 years in federal prison. And when they, if you look at the trials, they had like 4 or 5 escorts, male and females. So if he's guilty, let's just say he's guilty. Let's just say if there's 4 escorts, he's guilty of those 4 charges. He's going to spend 40 years in prison. That's a life sentence for Diddy, because I think Diddy's like, what, 50, 60 years old? He's never going to see the light of day. He's stuck. And it's kind of odd to me that a billionaire is going to be stuck in prison for the rest of their life. And on top of that, Diddy is going to lose it all. He's going to lose his companies. He's going to lose his money. His family, what they're going to do. Because the federal government, they're going to seize all those assets. They're going to seize all that money. So what is Diddy going to do? I mean, Diddy's family going to do moving forward? And, I understand that, people probably, don't care one way or the other. But look, those kids and the mother don't deserve what Diddy is about to get. Now, if they're in deliberations, and let's just say hypothetically, and I said this in a live stream, if the jury comes back from deliberations before July the 3rd, that's not good news for Diddy. That means they skimmed through everything and then they just said collectively, look, I don't want to stay here on Independence Day. I want to get out and about. I want to see my family. I want to get back to my life. Come on, let's just find him guilty of at least 2 of these things and then let the judge take care of it. Let God sort it out, okay? But if this thing extends after July the 4th, then that's tremendous good news for Diddy. Meaning somebody is in there, or 2 people are in there saying, look, Diddy is not a good person. He's a rotten to the core. He's not. He's got a bad attitude. He's got drug issues. He's this. He's that. But is he really that foul of a person that he should spend the rest of his life in jail for these charges? Because when you look at the evidence, there's not a single person that said they didn't want to do it. They were willing. There was willing contestants that wanted to do these freak offs. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's looking bad for Diddy. But like I said, anything after July the 4th, that's a huge win for Diddy. They can be, and I said in the last live stream, it can go one or two ways: guilty or hung jury. I do not believe Diddy is going to walk out scot-free, innocent of all these charges. That's not going to happen. So Diddy either going to be guilty or hung jury. And a hung jury, the judge might let them go back in there and try to work it out again. They come to the judge and say, look, we cannot reach a conclusion. We're at a hung jury here. The judge might say, well, just go back in there and deliberate some more. But I don't see Diddy. Like I said, if they come back before July the 3rd, really July the 2nd, and I think that's the timeline. From now to July the 2nd is the timeline where he can be guilty real fast, real quick. And if they do that, that means that, look, either they saw enough that he's guilty of this, or they want to hurry and get back to their lives. Either way, it's not good news for Diddy. All right? Or they, after July the 2nd, because the 3rd and the 4th, you might as well just say you're going to be in there, even if y'all wait till July the 4th. So you're already committed of staying in there. So there's a possibility where Diddy could be deadlocked for Diddy. Okay. But yeah, that's all I wanted to pretty much say. Later on this week, I'm gonna same time, same back channel. I'll do a status update, give y'all an update of what's going on with Diddy, but it's really nothing major, nothing important, and it is what it is. Well, fam, I'm up out of here. I really do appreciate everyone that came in. I really do appreciate people that are gonna rewatch this or watching it for the first time. I really do appreciate the people that are subscribed to my channel, new subscribers. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. But it's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. I will see you guys on the flip side. Deuces, guys. Deuces. I hope everyone have a very productive Monday, and I hope everyone has a safe July the 4th. All right, I want to see y'all face back into place after July the 4th. No questions. All right, I'm up out of here, y'all. Deuces.